Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Their Shortcomings Aren't Your Fault. Well, I've got an email here from a guy. It's actually a success story of how he's succeeded in his professional life and his personal life. The big downside is that he stayed in a relationship when he should have gotten out of it, and he ignored the red flags. And this is a common thing and a common theme I see quite often in my phone sessions with people, is that they're trying to have a healthy, normal, monogamous relationship with somebody that doesn't have a family history or a track record of being faithful and loyal in their relationships, or they're just totally screwed up. And instead of finding somebody who's a true equal and teammate, who's kind of worked out their problems and is ready to be in a relationship, they get involved with women, and women do this with men as well. But these guys get involved with women that got a truckload of fucking problems. And instead of encouraging them to go get therapy and counseling or whatever it happens to be, and then when they feel they're in a good place to get back in touch, they keep dating these women thinking that they're going to fix them or they're going to save them. And they put up with all kinds of fucking ridiculous behavior, which you'll see in a minute. I mean, some of the things that this woman pulled in this guy are going to leave you scratching your head. And when you get to the end of the email, he's going to be like, well, what if she comes back and wants to work things out? So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through this guy's email. And the quote says, "A healthy relationship is the result of two people sharing their completeness, not completing each other. Get to a blissful place where you love yourself, your life, lifestyle, peer group, and enjoy being alone. Then, when you are in a then when you are in a blissful place and grateful for your life, you can effortlessly attract someone who is also in a blissful place. Like attracts like. You will attract people and circumstances in your life that matches and mirrors your current vibe. You must take care of you and your own happiness first before you'll be in the right place to contribute to the happiness of another." So true. I found this out in my own life as well. If you're in a really stressed out place and you're frustrated and things aren't going your way, and you really need to focus on yourself and take care of a lot of things going on in your life first, if you're dating when you're in that place and you're angry and you're pissed off and you're frustrated, guess what? You're going to attract a woman into your life who's probably going to be angry and frustrated as well. And on top of that, all of those wounds and those shortcomings, that frustration, she's just going to irritate the fuck out of you even more. Because women are going to see all of the chinks in your armor. They're going to see your weaknesses and they're going to probe it. That's the way they are. And if you don't like it, you can talk to the big man upstairs. I'm just pointing this out. What's great about women is they help us guys be better because they'll see things we either don't want to see or can't see. And they tend to help us smooth out our rough edges. But if you're a work in progress and you got a whole truckload of problems in your own life that you're trying to fix, and on top of that you're trying to date, just keep in mind, whatever the vibe is that you're giving off, you're going to attract other people into your life that are on the same place vibrationally. And sometimes that just ain't good. You have to be comfortable being alone and enjoying your life and feeling like you got things where you want them to be. You're making progress. I mean, we're always going to be a work in progress. It doesn't mean you have to achieve all your big goals first. It just means you got to have some order in your life. You got to have a nice home base, a place where you live, where you come home and you feel comfortable and you like having other people over and entertaining. You have good, healthy friends. You're taking care of your body. You got a job that you really enjoy. And once you're in that place where things seem to be pretty balanced in most areas of your life, that's going to be the best place to be to date and attract somebody who's got the same goals and the same values and is like-minded. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey, Corey, I love your work. You have helped me grow so much, both in my personal and professional life. Your teachings helped me leave a job that was underpaying me. That goes back to part of knowing your worth. If you don't think you're worthy of earning more money, you're never, number one, you're never going to ask for a raise. You're never going to ask to make a lateral move or a promotion or even express interest. You're just hoping that somebody's going to give it to you. But if you don't think you're worthy of it, you'll never ask. But if you know you're worthy of it and the people that you're working for are a bunch of fucking turds, on your lunch break, and when maybe you got a couple breaks throughout the day, you're going to be on the phone and you're going to be emailing people and calling other potential employers, and maybe on your lunch hour going to other job interviews because you know you deserve better. And you're going to keep looking for it. And then once you get something lined up and you get your commitment letter from the new employer, then you can go tell your current employer, hey, it's been great, but I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice. It's always fun to do that. So he says, your teachings have helped me leave a job that was underpaying me, and within a year, I doubled my earnings. It's one of the things I talk about extensively in my second book, Mastering Yourself, is that I go into extensive detail about negotiation skills, how to get any job you want. It's a career-oriented, purpose-oriented type of book, which you can read the book for free on my website by subscribing to the newsletter. It's available in audio format, paperback, hardcover, and the Kindle version, and the iBook version as well. He says, I now make a little under $200,000 a year, and it's all thanks to you. This success and confidence also transferred into my romantic life. I started dating beautiful women and met a drop-dead gorgeous girl. I followed your principles, and by week 4, she asked me to be exclusive. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a shit show, and I did not have the strength to walk away. I know it's tough, especially if this is the first 10 that you've dated and you've never had this experience before. It's never gone so well with somebody that you were so into and so attracted to and you felt the same way. And then you start to see all these red flags. It's hard to walk away from that because you tell yourself, I'm going to be different. I'm going to really help her. I'm going to really help change her life because I'm so smart and awesome. And the idea is you want to see life and your circumstances as they are, not better than they are or worse than they are, but as they are, and act accordingly. And obviously in this case, he saw this woman as being better. In other words, he fell in love with her potential and what she could be and ignored the reality that there was lots of problems that would preclude her from being the kind of woman that would make a great long-term girlfriend or potentially wife if you're looking to get married. We were together for 3 years, and about 3 months into the relationship, I started catching her in lies. So you probably heard me say this, and I talk about this in my first book, How to Be a 3% Man, that people can hide who they are for about the first 90 days of a relationship. And the problem is you get 90 days in and you're all goo goo gaga and you're in love, and then she starts lying to you and you're like, it's just one little lie. Nobody's perfect. Because the infatuation and the honeymoon period tends to last 6 months to a year on average, where no matter what their flaws are, you're okay with it. But after about a year or so, that kind of goo goo gaga infatuation period wears off, then you kind of see how they are day in and day out. And so she was good at masking who she was for 3 months. And he started catching her in lies. But at that point, he had already talked himself into being in love because he figured this is great. Everything's going textbook. But then when he saw things that he didn't like, he just ignored it. He saw reality as better than it was with her. And you'll see in a minute, it costs him. He says, she lied to me about meeting guy coworkers at a bar. Well, the only reason she would lie about something like that is because probably she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing. And obviously, at this point in her life, she's learned to go through life to lie to the men and deceive the men who are in her life, and she probably learned that from her parents. She just doesn't value honesty. She's more values survival. She hid from me that she had lunch with her ex. Oh, kind of left that part out. I'm sober and she offered to be sober with me. And she lied about drinking with her best guy friend. I think she's got a little bit of an honesty problem. Just a little touch. She doesn't have a history of cheating, but she is a liar. Well, who knows? Maybe she does have a history of cheating. She just lied about that too. But the bottom line is somebody who's a liar, nope, doesn't work. Disqualified. You hit the eject button. So it made it hard for me to trust her, you think? I threatened to leave, but never could. That's why it's important. You got to know what your goals and your values are and what you're willing to tolerate before you get into it. This is why it's so important to make a list. Like I talk about in my first book, How to Be a 3% Man, doing the love letter exercise and making a list of all the qualities you want in a woman and all the qualities that you're not willing to tolerate. And obviously, honesty should be one of them, and a deal breaker should be somebody that's perpetually lying. Because if she lies about the little things, you can't have an honest, open relationship with somebody like that, because they're always worried about what you're going to think. And if they're worried that you're not going to like what they got to say or what they did, they'll just lie to you about it, because it's just better to avoid a confrontation in their eyes. She had thousands of amazing traits, but so many red flags. Yeah, dude, after 90 days, I know it would have been hard, but you should have pulled the ripcord and got the fuck out of there. We often fought about religion and politics, amongst other issues. When we fought, she would become irrational and lose control. Well, men who understand women don't argue with them. And if you try to talk in a calm manner and she loses her shit and loses control, that's when you go, honey, I love you, but this is just not acceptable behavior, and I'm going to leave. And when you calm down and you want to talk, give me a call, because I'm not going to put up with this abuse. Once she pulled a knife on me. Come on, man. The chick pulls a knife on you, and you go, check, please. Another time, she slammed the brakes while driving 60 miles an hour. Oh, that sounds really safe. And the list goes on. And yet you still stuck around. Dude. The more we fought, the more I started distancing myself from her. She suffers from depression, and her default mechanism for coping was to threaten suicide. This just gets better and better as we go on. Over the last year of the relationship, I tried breaking up with her 8 times, but always took her back. Come on, man. Fuck. I was starting to feel depressed also. Rather than caring and listening to her, I was becoming indifferent. 3 weeks ago, she finally broke up with me. She called and said that I didn't care for her and that I shouldn't take her depression personally. Yeah, when you pulled a knife on me, that kind of did it for me. It's just better if we part ways. I told her that she deserves to be with somebody that can support her emotionally. Obviously, your ex-girlfriend needs to be in therapy and counseling, and she needs to be some other dude's problem and not yours, bro. That's the whole point of this. This is not the kind of woman you can have a normal, healthy, happy relationship. You keep making excuses for her behavior. You should Google codependent type of behavior, because you'll see things like this. People that had alcoholic parents, or parents with mental problems, or parents that had all kinds of just a truckload of problems, and you become used to making excuses and covering for them. When you get in a relationship with somebody like this, you're emotionally anchored and conditioned to think that this is normal kind of behavior. And so you make excuse, I can fix her. I had a friend of mine, and I remember years ago, she was telling me about her boyfriend had gotten violent with her one time. And she looked me in the eye and all dead serious and says, I can control him. Well, that didn't work out too well. She wasn't able to control him. But we lie to ourselves and we put up with all kinds of ridiculous bullshit. Because the thought of being alone or being single is such an unpleasant thought for most people. They're like, they'll stay in a shitty relationship. I mean, this guy stayed in a relationship with a chick that pulled a fucking knife on him. I mean, come on. She said that she doesn't want to be with anybody else and will probably never get married. In other words, I'm probably never going to fix all my fucked up issues, and therefore I'm not going to be a good wife for anybody. I mean, deep down, she knows. She knows she's a fucking lunatic. Remember what Maya Angelou said? When somebody tells you who they are, believe them the first time. I said I'm not interested in being friends, but if she wants to work it out, then call me. Come on, man. It's been 3 weeks and I haven't heard from her. She blocked me on Facebook and unfriended everyone I know. That is awesome. That is great. She's exiting your life. She's doing you a favor because you didn't have the fucking balls as a man to do it yourself. She later posted on Twitter that I ended it with her. To be honest, not sure who broke up with who. Dude, come on, man. It's crazy, I know. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I want her, but it's only bringing me down. I guess my question is because I hurt her. So you're taking responsibility for her being a fucking lunatic. If I did want her back, should I stick to no contact, or does this warrant a phone call apologizing for not supporting her? Dude, fucking come on, man. Seriously. I can't believe you're even asking me that. You should go back and actually read this email and go, yeah, that's what a man's going to write something like this. The chick pulls a knife, slams the brakes in the car at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, we can work that out. Come on, dude. Fuck. You should go see a therapist and a counselor because that's not healthy behavior, dude. It's unclear who broke up with who in this case. You guys that are watching this video, feel free to comment and let this guy know what you think of the situation. Please do. Give him the unvarnished fucking truth of what you really think. Any insight that you could provide would be greatly appreciated. In this case, I would recommend blocking her back. Block all of her numbers, block everything. And if I were you, I think you probably should go see a therapist and a counselor and talk to them about this kinds of behavior because you're making all kinds of excuses. This is a dangerous, unhealthy. Can you imagine a woman like this raising your children? Can you imagine her holding your baby in one hand while she's pulling a knife? I'll cut you. I'll cut you. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. That is not normal behavior. This woman is not normal. She sounds like the kind of person that probably should be medicated. She needs a lot of therapy and a lot of counseling. At the end of the day, it's not your job to fix her. It's your job to take care of yourself and what you can control. And then once you've done that, then get back in the dating world and start meeting and dating new women and get as far away from this chick as you possibly can, dude. So if you'd like to get my help personally, maybe you're in a situation and you're unsure whether or not it's salvageable or it's somebody you should or should not be considering dating, but you're not sure, go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly so I can help you get back to where you need to be. And until then, I will talk to you soon.